We still don't know where Flame is. But we can't give up. Not until she's found.
Professor! Your Highness! I just heard a scream in Professor Yuritsa's quarters.
Yuritsa. Ah, the combat professor with the mask. He has always been rather suspicious. We must hurry.
Isn't that... Professor Manuela!
Professor Manuela! Please wake up! Professor Manuela!
She's still breathing, but she needs medical attention immediately.
Look! Do you see Professor Manuela's hand? It's like she's pointing at something.
I see it, behind that shelf. Could it be a secret passage?
What is the meaning of... Wait, is that Manuela? What happened here? We must take her to the infirmary immediately. You, don't just stand there. Help me carry her.
Of course. I'll return shortly, Professor.
Do you think this is related to Flame's disappearance?
What should we do, Professor?
It looks dark. Dark in there.
Oh, you've always been scared of dark places, haven't you, Annie? But don't worry. The professor and I will protect you.
There are sounds coming from within. If we're going to investigate, now is the time.
We'll be okay, I'm sure of it. Are you ready, Professor?
What is this place? It's so... Ah! I see someone. I think they're unconscious. Yes, I see Flame. But who is this other person? Professor! Someone's coming from farther in. That's Scythe. Is that the knight who attacked the Holy Mausoleum?
That sword. You must be. One of us will die. The other will live. I will enjoy this dance of damnation.
That night looks like death itself. We must rescue Flame immediately. There's something strange about the flooring at the end of the corridor. Something might happen if you step there.
I'm on it. Ready when you are.
What should I do?
Stay focused. That is that. I'll give it my all. I'll go.
Here we go.
Ready. Here goes.
Should I have held back?
Each battle, a chance to grow. As expected.
Luck wasn't with you.
I owe you one.
Some kind.
Predictable. You fought well. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Too slow.
As expected. Guess I'm pretty strong. I can't lose! The fight continues. I'm impressed. Well done.
Ineffective. Ineffective.
How's this?
That worked out.
Weak. Shot. Weak. Shot.
Another win.
I'll prove myself! I must steel myself. You're really going for it. That helps.
Had to be done. Ineffective.
my best.
Ineffective.
Let's do this.
Watch and learn.
A threat eliminated.
That is that.
You saved me.
It is decided.
Forgive me.
Stay focused. As expected.
Ready when you are.
Ready.
I'll give it my all.
I'll go.
Here we go.
Yes!
This isn't...
What should I do? Give up. The bet.
This should work.
This is our chance. You didn't give it your all.
That was tough.
Too easy.
Here goes.
I'm on it. I'm not hurt too bad. Why am I even here? Be mindful. Should I have held back? Thank you. Stay focused. Stay vigilant. Thanks. Predictable. Watch and learn.
Not so fast!
Predictable. It's over. You fought well. Each battle, a chance to grow.
Kill them.
Halt! You're having a bit too much fun.
You are getting in the way of my game.
Huh. You'll have more opportunities to play soon. Your work here is done.
Understood. I will go.
we will cross paths again. I am the Flame Emperor. It is I who will reforge the world.
Flame Emperor and the Death Knight? I have to say, they both looked very dangerous.
Where did they go? It doesn't matter. We need to get these two out of here.
Bring them up.
Thank goodness! Those girls are pale as ghosts, but at least they're alive. But that Death Knight person feels so familiar.
You found Flame? Oh, thank goodness.
She was unconscious at the end of that secret passage. We found the culprit too, but he got away.
I'm just grateful that everyone is safe. That's what matters most. I'd like to hear what transpired, but first, we need to get these ladies to the infirmary.
Understood. We'll go at once.
I'm sorry, Professor. I'm so relieved I suddenly felt weak. I couldn't be happier with how things turned out. And I imagine no one will be more overjoyed than Seteth. Hey, Professor. Can you make that expression one more time? I don't think I've ever seen your face like that. I apologize. I've forgotten myself and come dangerously close to teasing you. It's just... I've never seen you look so happy before. It's downright mesmerizing. But this isn't a time for idle chit-chat. We must hurry and share the good news with Seteth.
Professor, please allow me to express my eternal gratitude once more. Flame is safe and sound, and I have you to thank for that. Mere words could never express how thankful I am. I am indebted to you. Yes, indeed. I too am overjoyed. Her kidnapper was the masked knight who vanished during the Rite of Rebirth, the one known as the Death Knight. Considering the circumstances, it seems plausible to assume that his true identity is Ch6. And we cannot forget about the mysterious Flame Emperor. His true motives are yet unclear. However, I have an idea. I believe the enemy may have been after Flame's blood. The blood that flows through her veins is special. It is extremely rare, and extremely dangerous. If enemies who know the secrets of Flame's blood have appeared, our only option is to leave the monastery and go into hiding.
Brother, wait.
Flame, what are you doing here? You should be resting.
I do not like the path of your thoughts. I do not wish to live in some lonely, remote location where I never get to see anyone. Not ever again.
If we stay here, you may be targeted again. Wouldn't it be better for the two of us to live in peace?
Even if we ran off to some new, secret location, there is no guarantee that they would not find us. That is why I believe it would be safest to stay in the monastery, where we are surrounded by capable knights and professors.
I see your point. I do. However...
You know it is the only reasonable option. What if I were to join the professor's class? You think so too? I am so very pleased to hear that. With a professor like you nearby, I shall be safe no matter what foe should appear.
I see. I am afraid you have a good point. Professor, due to my position, I have closely scrutinized everything about you. After all that has happened, I must admit that you are indeed a trusted ally. So what say you? Can I entrust you with Flayn's safety?
I am so glad that Flayn is safe. Yet I can't help but wonder what the story is about that other girl. She wore the uniform of the Academy. But who is she?
Well done, Professor. I see that I was right to ask your class for assistance. I have been told that Manuela and Flayn are recovering nicely, as is Monica. Monica, the girl you rescued along with Flayn, is also a student of the Officers' Academy. However...
She is a student from last year's class. She went missing just before she would have graduated. It never occurred to us that something might have happened to her at the monastery. We assumed she had run away. I never dreamed that we would find her. Not like this.
Monica has asked to rejoin the Black Eagle House once she has fully recovered. Our enemies are still out there, so we must remain cautious and continue our investigation. However, we must also help the students to move on from this incident.
After all, the Battle of the Eagle and Lion will be held in Gronder Field next month.
Yes, the students will remember it for the rest of their lives. Please guide them so that they may show us their best at the coming battle.
So, you'll be going to Gronder Field next month. You've never been there before, have you? There is unease in the western side of the Empire, but everything east of the capital, Enbar, is stable. Well, there was a noble rebellion a short while ago, but it didn't amount to much. Sorry, but I've got my own mission, and it's far from Gronder Field. The Church has always been quick to make use of those who work for them. What I'm more concerned about is finding out who among us is pulling the strings. Ever since the Rite of Rebirth, strange groups have been seen around Garreg Mach and elsewhere too. There was also an incident where some knights investigating these suspicious strangers turned up dead. Not that it's likely, but if something like that ever happens to me, search this room, every corner, behind every shelf. I'm going to leave something for you. Don't just nod solemnly. There's nothing to worry about. I'm just being cautious. Then again, I guess you're always solemn. Part 1. White Clouds. Wyvern Moon. Field of the Eagle and Lion. From on high, flocks of wyverns roar in chorus and soar the pristine skies, heading south for the winter. Fodlan's children lend their hands to winter preparations by gathering firewood and catching fish from the river's cool waters. Yet all the while their gazes are turned skyward, drawn to the magnificent sight above.
The Battle of the Eagle and Lion is finally upon us. This is our chance to show off the results of your expert training, Professor. Have Lady Rhea and Seteth really not filled you in? Well, if that's the case, I'm happy to explain. The Battle of the Eagle and Lion takes place every year during the Wyvern Moon. It can be best described as a mock battle between the three houses.
Much like the one we had during the Great Tree Moon. Do you remember, Professor?
This battle will take place in Empire territory, at Gronder Field. In other words, far removed from the Monastery. It's a mock battle between the three houses. The house that defeats the most opponents wins.
Your Highness, if the rumors are true, I believe Professor Manuela and Professor Hanneman will not be joining us.
Ah, yes, right you are. Given recent events, Professor Manuela has opted to sit this one out. Since she won't be present, Professor Hanneman has decided to skip this year as well.
Oh, don't worry about us. You know you want to see the kids in action.
Professor Manuela! Are you feeling better already?
Thanks to all of you. But I'd only be a burden out there. My students don't need to see me collapsed. Well, not on the battlefield anyway.
In that case, perhaps it is best that you sit this one out.
Correct. We will not be participating. Regardless, do not expect victory to come easily, or at all.
Well put. We've spent the past few months pushing our students to their limits. You can see me in the infirmary after they destroy you.
We have taught our students well. There is no need to hold back. Challenge them with everything you have.
This monastery is more dangerous than I expected. It's likely that our foes have infiltrated the ranks of the teachers. And there may be others of questionable character about as well. If you ask me, there is something amiss about that old man, Tomas.
Professor, do you have a second? It's about Monica. Does she seem off to you? She was in prison for a long while, but she seems to have recovered almost instantly, and she's been bizarrely cheerful. You see what I mean? I wonder if she's straining to seem happy just to make people comfortable. And why is she so close to Edelgard anyway? What do you say, Adel? Shall we meet up in the library later to...
Oh, hello, Professor! Do you need something? I'm a little busy at the moment.
Sorry, Professor. I've got a lot of questions to ask Adel here. Since I couldn't graduate last year, I really want to make sure I can do so this year.
The Battle of the Eagle and Lion is a free-for-all contest among the three classes. If you are victorious, the Archbishop will no doubt present you with a reward. Just what I thought you'd say.
Definitely.
Along with Flame, we found another female student who went missing last year. But now the combat professor Yuritsa has vanished. His origin begged many questions, so there were plenty of objections to his appointment here. He is apparently from House Hrim of the Empire, but he was adopted from another family, or so they say. Anyway, there hasn't been much good to be said about House Hrim in recent decades.
Oh, having a fishing tournament before the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. At first I couldn't figure out what they were thinking. But the fish are especially tasty this time of year, so I don't question it anymore. Have you had any, Professor? You'd better eat up before it's all gone.
That's so.
Hi, Professor. Want to know something?
Gronder is in the territory of House Burgleys in the Empire. That's right next to my home, the region of House Varley. Oh no. What if my parents come to watch? I'm calm. Of course I'm calm. Why wouldn't I be calm? Sorry.
Why would we go all the way to Gronder Field? It's idiocy to travel that far. It may be a tradition, but it takes forever to get there and is exhausting. So pointless. I guess there's nothing to be done about it. Even by you, Professor.
Yeah, I'm actually...
Let's see. Fodlan is big. It's not as big as Almyra is, but it's still pretty big. Travel? I don't know. Never thought about it, I guess.
Professor, has Seteth told you? We're to have a fishing tournament. Given the events of the last month, I believe this is just the sort of distraction we need, staff and student alike. I'm afraid I'm not one for such festivities. I do enjoy a spot of fishing, though. I believe it best that I stick to quietly fishing by myself.
Let's see.
You know, I'm pretty good at fishing. My older brother used to take me out. Why don't you give it a try, too? They say we can eat whatever we catch.
Sometimes it's nice to dangle a fishing line and let your mind wander. I'd love to spend some time lounging around by a scenic river or lake. I'd like to learn more.
Holding such... Although, they did say we could eat whatever we catch. I'm a sucker for a good meal. I just couldn't resist.
Professor. Welcome to the Monastery fishing tournament. You look confused. Didn't Seteth tell you about it? Just catch whatever fish Flame requests. Show any fish you catch to Flame. Welcome to... You look confused. Just show any... I have a favor to ask.
Oh, you're entering too. Then how about a little friendly competition? Let's see who can catch the biggest fish. There's no way I'll lose.
So you are joining the fishing tournament? That's great, but you don't stand a chance against me. I just caught this beauty. I bet you can't catch a bigger one of the same kind.
I am happy that you will have participation. Maybe you and I both can have a small contest with each other? We will both have catching of the same fish type and do comparisons. Whoever has the fish with the biggest size will be winning, okay?
Professor.
Oh, are you taking part in the fishing tournament? Let's put your skills to the test. Whoever can catch the biggest one of these fish...
Are you taking part as well? Why don't we have some fun with this? A little contest. If you catch a fish like this, come show it to me. Whoever catches the bigger fish will be the victor.
Oh, so you're taking part. How would you feel about a little friendly competition? Catch the same kind of fish as me and we'll compare the two. Thank you very much. Excuse me, I've had... Thank you very much. Oh, that's delicious. Yes. No. Yes. Is that right? Oh. Thanks for the tea.
Professor. Professor.
Did you catch something? No way! That fish looks bigger and tastier. I can't believe I lost.
All right, let's see what you got. I lost? But how? I guess I underestimated you, Professor.
Yes, show me the fish so we can see whose has the biggest size. I will have comparisons now. Your fish has way more size. I have had losing. I have lost.
Professor.
You already got your hands on some fish. Let's compare then. I lost. Is there anything you can't do?
Looks like you've been doing some fishing. Let's see what you've got. Wow, that's a spectacular fish. You win. I can't compete with that.
So, you've caught something, have you? Let us pit our fish against each other. Alas, your fish is clearly grander than mine. I suppose you win. This time.
Professor. Welcome to... You looking... Just show any...
Me? baby. Will you be taking part 2, Professor? I must admit I am quite excited. I cannot recall the type of fish I was hoping to dine on. So, if you do manage to catch a fish, do you mind bringing it for me to see? Oh, you caught one! Yes, yes! Yay! Oh, this is it! This is the fish I have been pining for! I am so pleased! I shall cook it up immediately!
Thanks.
I'm going to catch me some mighty fish. Just you wait and see.
But they haven't been biting. I didn't think of that. The truth is right in front of me. Oh, just kidding. As though a fish is smart enough to be afraid of me. I'm going to...
I guess that's it. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, this created more fun than I have experienced in a long time. Did you also have the fun?
I wasn't expecting much, but this tournament was a lot of fun.
The fishing tournament's over already? Guess it's time for my personal eating tournament then. Best part is, no losing.
Hey, the fishing tournament is over. I heard you did some fishing, and that Flame is happy.
I think that's the end of the fishing tournament. I suppose it's time to prepare for the Battle of the Eagle and Lion.
Fishing was a nice change of pace, but now it's time to focus on the Battle of the Eagle and Lion.
All that's left now is to eat it. Should I smoke it? Stew it? Ugh, I'm drooling already.
Come on, why are they having a fishing tournament now? Are they just giving up on the Battle of the Eagle and Lion? You're not condoning this, right? Are you?
Going all the way to the Empire for a mock battle? This is serious business, and there's a reward to be had as well. I'd really like to win this thing. Going all the way to the Empire for a mock...
Well, excuse me, Professor. Do you think it would reflect poorly on me if I chose not to take part in the Battle of the Eagle and Lion? Oh, I see. I'm not very confident, but I'll try my best.
Gronder Field is in the Empire, right? I wonder how we'll get there. I thought I heard that there's no path that goes straight from the Monastery to the Empire. Oh, perhaps we'll travel through Alliance territory. Yes, I see. From the east, we would go... there. Ah, yes, that must be it. The Battle of the Eagle and Lion is coming up soon. Feeling confident? That's the spirit.
I'm just absolutely exhausted. I swear to you, Professor, every month we're worked harder than the month before. I had imagined the Academy as a chance to possibly relax before our lives began in earnest. Agreed. That's the Church of Saros for you. What is it they say? Those with power are obliged to use it.
Hey! The Death Knight's true identity. Personally, I don't think it could be Yuritsa. He taught me swordsmanship. He said I had talent and the potential to get pretty strong. He was a little scary, of course. But it's hard for me to believe he's a bad person.
After all, the ladies love nothing more than a winner. And around here, there's no bigger game. I knew you'd understand, Professor.
The Battle of the Eagle and Lion. Its name comes from the war in which the kingdom won its independence from the Empire. It's imperative that we fight our best. We must live up to the legacy of the King of Lions.
I need a favor. I need a favor.
Ever since the tournament, the kitchen is completely overtaken with fish. The cooks cannot keep up.
Hey!
Professor. When you feel that first refreshing breeze upon your face, you know it is almost time for the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. Gronder Field is within the Empire, but the path there from the Monastery necessitates passing through Alliance territory. Fodlan's biggest river, the Aramid River, flows along the border between the Empire and the Alliance. You will have to cross one of the largest bridges upon that river, the Great Bridge of Murden.
Pardon me. Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Young Monica disappeared last year. I thought she had simply run along home, but it turns out she was kidnapped. I can't believe it. How awful it must have been for the poor thing. They say her personality has completely changed, but at least she seems more cheerful than before. Grateful to be alive, perhaps?
Do you have time for a request? I received a rare letter from my father recently. He said that he is praying for the Golden Deer House to emerge victorious. Insistently praying. My father attended the Officers' Academy and won a glorious victory in the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. I think he is quite proud of that, even to this day. I suppose that shows how great an honor it truly is.
You know, the Empire used to control all of Fodlan. But after the Civil War, the northern region split off and became the Kingdom. Later, the eastern part of the Kingdom seceded to become the Alliance. There are 3 powers today, but 1,000 years ago, we were all united as one. Even now, among the nobles of the Empire, there are some who dream of reunifying Fodlan.
After the Battle of the Eagle and Lion, a prize is awarded to the winner by the Archbishop herself. It's a 3-way battle, so you can't waste too much time just observing. You have to jump right in there. You have to be proactive and defeat the most opponents. Do that, and it's quite possible the Archbishop will recognize how strong you are. Ah, great memories. I was a student here many years ago. I know what I speak of.
Oh, hi, Professor. Have you heard the rumor about the Goddess Tower? Well, there's an annual ball here the month after next, during the ethereal moon. They say if a boy and a girl wish for something together at the Goddess Tower on that night, the goddess herself will grant it. I don't know where the rumor started, but it's a great story, isn't it?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was lost in thought. It's very kind of you to be concerned, but I promise that I'm fine. I was just thinking, the Death Knight's true identity. Could it actually be Professor Yuritsa?
Hey!
I have a favor to ask.
Since we were little, Ingrid's always gotten this odd look in her eye when someone brings up food.
Of course. The situation last month was dire indeed. The students endured great hardship. I hope you were able to put all of that behind you, so that you may focus on this month's assignment. A most reassuring response. I trust that your class is in good hands. I look forward to seeing your skills on display at the Battle of the Eagle and Lion.
I hear that you participated in the fishing tournament. I appreciate you taking the time. I hear that you
Really?
Yes. How are preparations for the Battle of the Eagle and Lion going? Fishing? Taking it easy, are you? The recent happenings at the Monastery. There is something going on behind the scenes here. I've been commissioned to investigate as well. As I've already mentioned, this month I'm off to the kingdom. You be on your guard, okay? Perhaps I've gotten in your head too much. I won't go dying on you. I've stayed alive this long after all.
I always thought I was pretty good, you know? Then I'd go and get stabbed. Oh. But my opponent was the Death Knight, so I figure I did pretty well to only get stabbed. I wonder if it's true that he is actually Yuritsa. Whoever he is, I'm going to make him pay. It turns out that when I get stabbed, I get really mad. I'm not going to let him get the better of me again.
I don't know if you've heard, but Flame is very special. Her blood carries a rare crest. Oh, the lengths to which she could advance my research, if only I were able to study her. If only it weren't for Seteth's strict orders. He protects his sister with unusual zeal. Have you ever tried convincing Seteth of anything? I'm not sure I could convince that man the sky is blue, if he hadn't already looked up for himself.
Hey.
I'm going to catch me... I'm going to catch... I'm going to... I appreciate this.
Right.
My savior, thank you.
How the Reese? I've been you be on your.
I still have much...
Professor, may I ask?
Professor.
We can handle it.
Nope.
Here's the...
I've got it.
I'm getting the hang of this.